Rossi is here from the sports desk, and a look at the result from the most prestigious award in college football.
That's right, Victoria. College football season is winding down. The bowl game matchups are set, and it's time to find out who the best of '89 is. Who'll win the Heisman Trophy this year?
Signal honor of awarding the 1989 Heisman Memorial Trophy to Andre Ware of the University of Houston.
Ware of the high-powered Houston Cougars threw for a record 4,699 yards and 47 touchdowns in 1989, and he also proved to be a good running quarterback as well. And in the final voting, he just edged out Anthony Thompson of Indiana and Major Harris of West Virginia in one of the closest Heisman races in years, and Ware is grateful for the award.
Coach Party for giving me the opportunity to play quarterback when a lot of people didn't believe in me. And I want to thank my teammates for playing their hearts out this year and not giving up. A lot of people didn't give us credit as far as being able to continue this season with probation and all that hanging over our heads. We've overcame a lot as a football team, and I'm accepting this trophy for my teammates in the University of Houston.
So Ware of the University of Houston wins the Heisman. And by the way, Ware, who's just a junior, says he will not turn pro next year. But Barry Sanders also said that last year. We'll have to wait and see. Turning to college basketball, the Temple Owls had a battle on their hands to open the '89-90 season against the Penn Quakers at the Palestra last week.
Temple came out of the second half up by 1, and it stayed close the entire game. Mark Macon led the Owls with 21 points, but the Penn Quakers hung tough. And Temple head coach John Chaney had to be worrying about Fran Dunphy's scrappy Penn Quakers, who just kept pouring it on. Paul McMahon drains the jumper from the baseline, and Penn took the lead. But then on the fast break, 3-on-1, Donald Hodge feeds Mark Macon, and the Owls' lead was 3. But Penn again takes the lead on this Vince Curran Hail Mary, and Penn goes up by 1. And Curran and his Quakers were fired up. Then Temple up by 3. Chambers hits, and it's a 1-point game again. And then time running out. One final chance for Penn to win, and the miracle just falls short, and the Owls hang on. John Chaney is happy to get out of the Palestra with a win. The final, Temple 55, Penn 54.
Macon finished that game with 21 points. Temple center Dwayne Coswell had only 5 points and 10 rebounds. Then for the Owls, it was on to Syracuse for the Carrier Classic, and in the opener for Temple, the Owls had little trouble handling Arkansas State 65-41 the final. Macon had 28 points, and Coswell back on track with 17. He also had 11 rebounds to go along with that. And Temple's Mick Kilgore pumped in 14 points for the Owls. Then it was on to the tournament final, a showdown with the #1 team in the nation, the hometown Orangemen of Syracuse. Mark Macon again led the Owls. He had 18 points. Dwayne Coswell added 14, but it wasn't enough as the Owls lost their first game of the year 73-56, and Temple drops to number 23 in the nation with the loss. Well, in women's hoops action, the Temple Lady Owls have gotten off to a slow start. The Lady Owls dropped their opener to Villanova at the DuPont Pavilion 68-65. Kelly Lane had 27 points to lead Temple, and the next loss came to LaSalle in the home opener this past Saturday. And last night, the Lady Owls were looking for an upset against number 14, University of Maryland.
Donald and her crew felt after last night's 70-64 loss to the 14th-ranked Terrapins of Maryland. The Lady Owls came back from a 17-1 deficit at the start of the game and finally took the lead 57-56 on this foul shot by Kelly Lane. But the Terps controlled the middle game and matched their offense point for point. Kelly Wicks has the hot hand for the Lady Owls with 4 3-pointers, giving her 12 points on the night. But Maryland pulled it out in the end. Once again, the final 70-64.
The Lady Owls' next game is against the University of Miami in the Felposh tournament at Michigan State on December 8th and 9th. Joining the Lady Owls and Hurricanes in that tournament are Michigan State and Kentucky. And finally, in sports, Temple's Kelly Lane was named Big 5 Player of the Week in women's college basketball. Lane averaged over 20 points per game in the Owls' losses to Nova and LaSalle last week. And that's it from the sports desk. Now back to you, Victoria.
Temple faithful braved bad weather and long lines to get tickets for home games. In some cases, fans even camped out overnight at the Student Activity Center on Temple's main campus. Now, fans' expectations may be high, but Temple head coach John Chaney isn't so high on his Owls.
I'm just a little bit unhappy with the leadership on the ball club. Right now we're going to have Mark playing the point position, it looks like, and Mick Kilgore playing the 2 position. So I'm hoping that Michael Harden comes around and that'll give us the 3rd guard, but we certainly are suffering because we don't have good leadership in the backcourt.
Among the teams Temple faces this year, North Carolina State, Nevada, Las Vegas, and of course the tough teams of the Big Five, Penn, LaSalle, St. Joe's, and Villanova. 2 of Temple's home games will not be played at McGonigal Hall. The game on January 6th against NC State will be at Atlantic City's Convention Hall, and the January 13th game against UNLV will be at the Spectrum. Some key players for the Young Owls squad this year, besides Mark Macon and Dwayne Coswell, are Donald Hodge, Chris Lovelace, and Mark Strickland.